Okay, today we're going to check out the COMICA Micro Compact Directional Condenser Shotgun Video Microphone. Comes in a real nice box. Cardioid mic, small and light with a shock mount, super anti-interference, and fits smartphone, GoPro, and DSLR cameras. So let's take a look at it. One of the main reasons that I'm interested in an external mic is as cameras, especially super zoom cameras, get older, the zooms make noise. The camera mechanism makes noise. And of course you have wind noise and just the general noise pollution of the environment today. And one of the things I like right off the bat is it comes with a nice hard case. And a nice little area to store things in. The last microphone I had no case at all. Okay, so we've got the mount, the little mini shotgun microphone. Looks like it just snaps right in like that. I like already the feel of it. It's got it's a metal mount. Feels like really well built. Looks good. And it comes with a foam cover and a windscreen. Looks like a pretty nice windscreen. Windscreens are nice to have because one of the main things I use it for, besides reducing noise pollution and noise from the mechanism of the camera, is wind noise. It's just annoying to get a lot of wind noise when you're shooting wildlife and things like that. So you've got your foam cover, which fits nice on there. So far I'm impressed with the quality and the fit and feel of everything. And then we've got two cables, one for camera or camcorder and one for a smartphone. Now I'm not really set up to test out a smartphone. I do a lot of recording actually with smartphone, but I don't have a set up to easily use it with a microphone, but I'm going to have to look into that. But we'll just check it here real quick with the cable here for camera and camcorder. Just plug that in the back. I'm using a Canon XX60 as my go-to camera. Already I like the way it just slides right on and tightens up with a nice solid metal screw in the frame. And then of course on this camera it just plugs in right here at the microphone position. And when you talk about microphone, you talk about noise pollution. You can hear all the noise pollution out there today, so not uncommon. So that's a nice setup. It looks good. Now, one of the reasons I like a mini microphone is because I don't shoot off that often with the flip screen. I shoot a lot of times in the, with the viewfinder in my eye. And with this, you can put this right up in your eye and shoot like through the viewfinder, even with my glasses on. It's not in the way at all. The microphone's not in the way at all. And it looks like a pretty good setup. Again, the main thing I'm concerned in is if you, and we'll test this out in the field, but if you're working with a super zoom camera like a Canon SX60 or any of them, and the bottom line is you're talking about a $500 camera. It's got a lot of times plastic gears, and this camera of mine is about 3 years old now. It has like 1 million miles on it. So when you're out in the field and you're recording and you're zooming in and out, the internal mic picks up all the noise from the camera zoom. And that gets to be a little annoying. And of course there's wind noise and just the reduction of shotgun mic, particularly for what I'm interested in, either picking up people talking or picking up birds or other natural sounds, is you want to try and limit the external noise as much as possible. Now the experience I've had with other mics, like this Movo, is not anywhere near as compact. It's very bulky. It runs on AA batteries, which is a real pain because this thing just eats up the batteries. And it has a plastic frame. And in order to change the batteries, you got to take this out of the the shock mount, which is a real pain. So just even, and it eats batteries, and just to change the batteries is a major deal. And when it's on the camera, as you can see the difference in size, when it's on the camera you can't use the eyepiece. You can't put that up to your eye and look out of the eyepiece. You pretty much have to hold it on you hold it with the screen out or use a tripod. The only way that this one will work on this camera was with this adapter like that, and that's a lot of and then you could use the eyepiece. But to me that was just a major hassle. I thought the sound quality was okay with the Movo, but it's just too big and bulky, and it used up batteries, and it was just a pain to use. Not only that, the windscreen had a tendency to pop off. So what I really like about these mini mics is that they don't require batteries. They run off the power source of your camera. Now I usually carry 2 or 3 regular extra Canon batteries anyway, so I just prefer to use a mic that's powered off the camera. Just a whole lot easier, a lot less, and then you know when it's running out of batteries. If you're using an external mic that runs on batteries, it could be running out of batteries while you're filming something important and you wouldn't catch it. So right off the bat, I just like the general look and feel and build quality of it, and the way it feels on the camera. This is the kind of microphone, if I'm carrying a camera around all day doing bird shoots or wildlife shoots or nature shoots in general, I can just leave that on all day long, and it won't be a bother. That you have to remember to avoid Wi-Fi interference is to turn off the Wi-Fi on your smartphone or your camera. This particular camera is Wi-Fi enabled, so you want to make sure your Wi-Fi is off of anything that you attach it to. Okay, I'm just using the microphone actually as a handheld microphone to connect it to my smartphone now just to test it out. One of the things I wanted to remind people is most cameras have adjustments for audio, and so if you have a camera, for example in Canon, they usually have a wind filter and an attenuator. When you're using this microphone, you want to make sure the wind filter is off if it doesn't turn off automatically when you plug it in, and also leave the sound recording in auto. My opinion is that if you do any post-processing of your audio, you should do it in a special audio program like Audacity and not have it be done in the camera or in the microphone itself. That's one of the things that annoyed me about the Movo, was it had a couple of high and low pass filters and boosts on the microphone, but you really didn't know in a given time what those settings were going to do until you got it home and after you've already made a recording. I'd much rather make a pure recording with no alteration and then do the adjustments in the studio. So set those camera settings to automatic or turn off your wind attenuator. Nice windscreen. It's actually a superior windscreen to the one that came with the Movo for a smaller microphone. And the other thing I like about it is it fits snugly on the microphone here. Actually quite snugly. Now, the way this frame is designed is I would be careful. It fits nice and snug, which is good, but you got to be a little bit careful removing it. I mean, you wouldn't want to push on this. You want to support this while you're removing the microphone. And just listen to the noise pollution out there today. We're up in the Great Smoky Mountains of North Carolina. So, you get the... See, I really like the way the windscreen fits on the microphone. Right here flush. With my other Movo, I had trouble with it coming off. That really fits nicely in there, and fits in tight. Now, for most of my bird and nature shooting out in the outdoors, I'll probably use it with the windscreen microphone, and we'll test it out both ways. We'll test it out. The Movo did do a decent job of cutting down on wind noise despite all of its other negatives, but I'm looking forward to this. This is a nice looking setup, and we'll check it out. And just to give you a little sneak peek of where we are today, Okay, let's test out the mic. Okay, this is a test of the COMICA microphone connected to a smartphone. As you would say you were doing an interview with somebody, I'm actually sitting in a chair approximately 6 feet away from the microphone, which is connected to my smartphone. Unfortunately, it's raining like cats and dogs outside as Hurricane Nate, the remains of Hurricane Nate are moving through. But a test is a test, and we'll see how the voice quality is. This is a short reading from Watership Down. Rabbits are like human beings in many ways. One of these is certainly their staunch ability to withstand disaster and to let the stream of life carry them along, past reaches of terror and loss. They have a certain quality which it would not be accurate to describe as callousness or indifference. It is rather a blessed circumscribed imagination and an intuitive feeling that life is now. A foraging wild creature, intent above all upon survival, is as strong as the grass. Okay, to sum this test up, now I'm recording my voice at the typical selfie distance with my smartphone. I'm very impressed with the microphone, the quality, the build, the carrying case, the way it works on my camera. The one thing I didn't really have a chance to test thoroughly was the windscreen cover, but you know, my experience has been those tend to work pretty well. You know, it's excellent for picking up environmental sounds, bird songs, environmental noises like rain and things like that at long distances, which is what I primarily use it for, and also to a limited extent for vlogging. But you know, obviously it sounds really good close up. I'll move the microphone up to within about 8 inches from my mouth right now as I'm talking. And it's, as you move it farther and farther away, the less richness you get, which is typical. But at the typical selfie distance, which I just switched to now, you know, it's excellent for voice quality. So for me, it fits all my all-around needs. I'm not primarily doing a lot of voice recording, but I do some voice recording. I do a lot of environmental recording of nature and animals and such, and for that, it's outstanding.